Yo, 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 yo. Talk that talk from the block. It's your boy Doc. How we doing? Back with another edition. We here in the Berg. It's hot. It's hot. It's that type of hot when you first walk out, you go, damn. It's that type of sun. Make sure you hydrate. And if you ain't got to be in that sun, you not at a pool, get inside. If you are blessed and fortunate enough to access some AC, access all of it. So we are here on the block once again. It is 3 days before we hit up the Friday night lights to see them Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been in camp for a couple of days, running around in shorts, everybody looking cute, but the pads go on literally about 5 minutes ago. First practice session in them pads. You know, they always talk about 7-on-7s and OTAs and all that. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about no combines. I don't care about how much you bench 225. I don't care about how fast you run a 4.4. Can you play? And it looks like the management has done some good things over the last 2 off seasons. And I think from a talent point, our roster has a little more depth. So this is our top from the block breakdown of the Pittsburgh Steelers roster. We're going to see what it's hitting for. Now, up top, if you're being realistic, do you think the Steelers can win the division? Do you think the Steelers can win a playoff game? Do you think the Steelers can even get to an AFC chip? And if we really reaching out there, do you really think the Steelers can get to the Super Bowl? We're going to get into all of that. But first, the first thing I want to talk about is the quarterback position. So, somehow 2 years ago, we made the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky and my man Lil Hands. Got waxed in the first round. Then we come back with Russie, Sierra, and my man Justin Fields. I was uber excited. And, I was a Fields fan. We got off to a 4-2 start. Even though the defense blew that Dallas game. So really, he had us at a 5-1 start. The powers that be put Russie in. He looked phenomenal for about 2, maybe 3 games max. But then the whole bottom fell out. And we ended up with the same record that we had with Trubisky and Little Hands. So here we are now. And mind you, Mason Rudolph had to save us 2 years ago by winning them last 3 regular season games. So it wasn't even Trubisky and Little Hands that got us there. It was actually Rudolph. So Rudolph is in the back. He's in the mix, but he is the backup to Aaron Rodgers. 42-year-old, soon to be, Aaron Rodgers, who has the 4th worst QBR over the last 3 years. Did you get that? The 4th worst. Now, one of those years was lost to injury, but 4th worst QBR over the last 3 years. I ain't even gonna mention the names of those that are below him, but if you can think of some of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league, only 3 of them are worse than Aaron Rodgers. So when you think of Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh fans, are you thinking of that 2010 version that we gave a Super Bowl to? Are you thinking of that multiple-time NFL MVP that was quite some years ago? But if you're not thinking of those, did y'all actually happen to watch Aaron Rodgers last year for the New York Jets? It looked a lot like Russell Wilson, excuse me. Freudian, Russell Fields. Russell Wilson. He kept taking some horrendous sacks. Why? For 12 years. Russ could spin out, reverse spin, and get away from them defensive ends and outrun them defensive ends and throw a dime 20 yards downfield. Russ can't spin anymore. Russ can't evade anymore. Russ can't sprint right or left and throw a dart 20 yards downfield on time. You know who else cannot do that? Aaron Rodgers. Now, if we just talking about from your fingertips to your shoulder and nobody's rushing, everybody's blocked, he got time, and just picture perfect arm, AR-12 is what they call him. He can put the rock there. Or will there be some great throws this year? Absolutely. Absolutely. The arm talent is there, and if you can keep him upright, which we'll get to that left tackle situation and the new running backs that going to miss some blitz pickups. But if you can keep him upright, he's going to make some throws. Now, my question becomes, what about them off-time throws? And when you got to evade, and when you got to step up, then shuffle, then throw. Or somebody breaks three and you got to somehow spin out, sprint 15 yards to your left or your right, turn your shoulders and fire down wherever it needs to be. Can he do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. In a perfect world, Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for about 3,900 yards this year. He's going to throw about 26 touchdowns this year. But I think what we saw last year started to creep up, and we'll see more of interceptions. He's going to throw some interceptions. One, because so many new moving parts. You got 2 new tackles. You got an entirely pretty much new backfield other than Jalen. And then you got all these wide receivers. We're not quite sure who's going to be slot on third down, things of that nature. You're working in a new tight end and trying to apparently do a 2 tight end set. So I just think there's a lot of going to be communication errors with so many moving parts. Will there be some high moments? Absolutely. Will there be some spectacular plays because of the physical talent we can now march out there? Yeah. But you don't just throw a great cooking dish together. You got to know the ingredients. You got to know how long to cook it. You got to know the layers. You got to know when to put it first, what to put in second. And it takes time. You can't rush it. You ever go to somebody's house for dinner and you could tell they barbecued the meat too fast, or had the flames too high, or they just cooked it too fast? It was off. I think the Steelers offense is going to be off. Will we have some stats? Yeah, but it's going to be off. So when I look at Aaron Rodgers, here's my prediction. Because of blitz pickups and because of Broderick Jones, who we going to get into, I don't see Aaron Rodgers personally lasting the whole season. I said in a perfect world, 3,900 with 26 tutties. But we don't live in a perfect world. And that left tackle is going to get somebody killed. So therefore, you are looking at Mason Rudolph potentially coming to save the day. He is the most disrespected quarterback with a winning record over his career that maybe I think I've ever seen in my life. Now, would the outlook be different for Mason if that unfortunate helmet takeoff slap hadn't happened in Cleveland, and then the things that was said, not said, potentially said? Would the outlook on Mason be different if not for that moment in Cleveland? I think so. Do I think he's a first-team All-Pro? No. Would he be the worst starting quarterback in the NFL this season? No. Then you got Will Howard. I was happy about the Will Howard pick. I'm a believer that quarterbacks need to be leaders. I done seen all the talent in the world win nothing. My favorite all-time quarterback, who you can't tell me nobody better than, is Dan Marino. I don't care who you say. I don't want to hear Joe Montana. I don't want to hear Tom Brady. I don't want to hear AR, whoever else you want to come up with. To me, nobody was better at the John Elway. My bad. Marino had all the talent in the world. He had all the skill sets, made all the throws. He ain't win nothing. I like leaders. I think your quarterback needs to be a leader of men. In between those lines, can you lead us? Can you galvanize us? Can you drive us down the field? I watched Ben Roethlisberger on the sidelines for almost 2 decades. Ben was a lot of things, but on that field, before the last year or so, he was the leader of men. And I think Will Howard has those qualities. So that's the quarterback positions. I think down the line, if we got some coaching, it could work with Will Howard, because I saw him lead at Ohio State. Not the most talented guy, but talented enough. If you got good coaching and quality skill making, Will Howard going to get you somewhere down the line. But for this year, Aaron Rodgers, perfect world, 3,900, 26 tutties, but double digits interceptions. I could see 10 or 11 interceptions. And when Broderick Jones gets him killed, and we don't live in a perfect world, Mason Rudolph will save the day to lead us toward a 7th place position, I say, in the AFC, which we will go on the road and get waxed in the first round 3 times in a row. Now, looking at the running back position, what y'all thinking? We got Jaylen Warren, ultra explosive, but we've never seen him touch the rock 20 times a game. Can Jaylen carry the rock 17, 18 times a game, catch 3 or 4 passes, and not fumble, and not pull a hamstring? Remains to be seen. In limited duty, a little bit injury prone. Now you're trying to expand his workload. Now he looks great, but you know, again, football ain't about what you look like in them shorts, running heels, and got all the muscles. Injury prone, expanded load. The Steelers are going to have to be smart with Jay. Even if he's having a good game, you got to keep his carries down. I think realistically, he's still a 12 carry guy. I don't think he can get into that 17, 18, 19 range. So I understand Jaylen want to get paid, but I don't think it's going to be here, buddy. So now you're looking at Caleb Johnson, rookie, Iowa. Got a lot of measurables. Remind you of when you go look at Le'Veon's tape from Michigan State, not Steelers, at Michigan State. And then you look at Caleb's footwork and his film at Iowa, very similar traits. Patient runner, knows how to pick the holes, a lot of power, runs upright. Now, what I don't see is the acceleration that Le'Veon had when he could get stop, accelerate the hole, jump step, cut, and then accelerate. I don't think Caleb Johnson has that, and traditionally, rookies that are not named Marshall Faulk tend to struggle in the NFL. So I don't know if Caleb Johnson is going to do much for us this year, especially early in the season, but he's the big back on the roster because Warren and Gainwell, small dudes. They in the gym, but they small dudes. So 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, goal line. Can you give it to Warren? Can you give it to Gainwell over an extended period of the season? I don't think so. So you're going to lean on a rookie running back in your short yardage goal line formations. Statistics, analytics say that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. Then you got Gainwell. He's a nice addition. 3rd down. If you're not familiar with him, extremely competent in the 3rd down and passing game. That in and out reading, that linebacker or safety picks him up. He reminds you as far as making the in and outs on that 6-yard route like a Julian Edelman. Didn't matter who you put on Edelman. He could go left, he could go right, way before the guy watching him. And if you're in sync with your quarterback, I think there's going to be a lot of success if A-Rock will check down if he goes with Gainwell. So depending on the usage, I think it can be, if I was to give this room a grade for the year, I think it'll come around B minus. I'm especially nervous about blitz pickup. Warren and Gainwell, small guys. Have you seen some of these defensive ends and outside linebackers in this league? They're big dudes. I don't think those two can hold up. And they're being asked to block more than they ever have on blitz pickup. The 3rd guy's a rookie. Rookies never understand blitz pickups. Never. Why would we as Steelers fans think that he's suddenly going to be the first to do it? So that's why I lean toward a B minus for this running back room. Now, let's run into the wide receivers. Made the big splash, traded for DK Metcalf. We had a young hothead in Pickens, and we got rid of him and got an older hothead in Metcalf. So you got Metcalf, Roman Wilson. After Broderick Jones, I think he's the 2nd biggest question mark on the whole team. I don't know if he's good. He was good at Michigan, but we all know them Saturdays ain't Sundays. So Roman Wilson, I mean, you had a soft tissue issue that took you out all last year. But word on the street is you ain't know that playbook and couldn't learn that playbook. That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true. That's what the tea leaves is saying. So did you get with a tutor this summer and teach you them plays and them audibles and what to do if it's a zone versus, cover 3 versus man underneath? You got to know all that. That's why AR gonna have some interceptions because he's dealing with Roman Wilson. And then you're looking at little dude. I liked how my little guy last year got busy in the slot. I like Austin as a third guy. Austin has some big plays for us last year. So I'm feeling Calvin Austin as the third guy. I'm not leaning into Scotty Miller. I know there's the rookie free agent. Yeah, every once in a while you hit up on a free agent and after the draft that turns into something. Terrell Davis immediately comes to mind, but realistically, come on, y'all. If we put our hopes and dreams on an undrafted rookie wide receiver, I think we in more trouble than even I think we in for. So I'm not going to mention that, but Roman Wilson, second biggest question mark on the team. I think Metcalf and AR, as far as that combination, going to put up great numbers. Great numbers. Because the speed of Austin still going to make that safety have to stay back. And if he's in the slot, I think Metcalf is going to see a lot of targets. I think it's going to be reminiscent of the Ben AB years when AB was seeing 12, 13, 14 targets a game because of that volume. I think Metcalf will have 100 catches. I think he'll have 1,400 yards. He'll have 10, 11 touchdowns. Those numbers will be there because the volume of targets will be there. Low key, he's a top 6 or 7 wide receiver in fantasy. We'll have that fantasy edition episode coming up soon. But put your money as far as fantasy and the Metcalf. They'll have nice numbers. But second biggest question mark on the team, Roman Wilson. Can he play? Can he adapt? Can he stay healthy? I ain't seen this man get hit by one of these strong safeties or middle linebackers and get up and get back into the huddle, because that's what the NFL is. You gonna get hit. Can you get up from these hits? A lot of guys can't. So if I was to grade the wide receiver room right now, I'm gonna go C+. Yeah, I know Robert Woods is on the team. I don't know. Skoranek, I can't believe. He must be great on special teams, honestly, if he makes the roster again. So C+ for the wide receiver room. Now, I'm interested in the tight ends. So you got Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and DJ Washington, along with Connor Hayward, which, honestly, I think he's on the team because of who his brother is. But that's sad. The Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, 2 tight end set, I think could be in play if you can get AR to check down and look down and not look for the big shot so much, so we're not in 2nd and 10 so often. I'm not sure about the blocking of Freiermuth and Smith. You do have Washington, and I know they say the brother got bad knees, but you drafted him. Can y'all put him out there enough so we can find out if he can play? And then if not, I know this about Connor Hayward. He actually has hands, actually can take a big hit and get up. I don't think he's a point of attack blocker though. I don't think he has that strength or skill set to actually be an online blocker. So you got to figure out what you're doing there. But I think there's the potential for this group to be a B to B+. I think there's the potential of between Smith and Freiermuth, 150, 140 catches just right there between those two, plus whatever you get out of the third guy. But Freiermuth specifically has to improve at the point of attack. Sometimes, bro, you are listed as a tight end. That means you got to block. Get stronger. Hopefully you did that. Now, we're moving forward to them tackles. Broderick Jones, and the rookie, I'm calling him a rookie because he missed every snap last year, Isaac Seumalo. Now, by all accounts, this kid's tight. He's going to be tough. Or not, excuse me. Troy Fontano's at right tackle. Troy Fontano. He missed all of his rookie year. But apparently, up until that injury, was doing really, really well. So much so, it looked like Broderick wasn't even going to be out there last year. But the kid got hurt. He's back. He's healthier. Body's a year more mature. He's had a chance to recover. from the banging of his college football season a year and change ago. You've had some coaching now for 2 years at the NFL level. So I'm a go with the tea leaves and say he's going to be solid at the right tackle position. But Broderick Jones, you are looking like Huey Richardson to me. You are looking like Lyman Swede to me. You, sir, are on the clock. Jermaine Stevens, if you guys are old enough to remember Jermaine Stevens. This has bust written all over it. Now, you're looking out here like you running 5 and 10Ks. I don't know if that's going to help you. Getting in shape meant lose the fat but keep the muscle. It didn't mean get skinny. I'm nervous about Broderick Jones, and I hear you got hurt yesterday. Y'all ain't even hitting yet, and you hurt already. And what I read was it's your second injury in the first 4 days of non-contact. Broderick Jones, will you even make it through camp? Could you get cut this year? I don't care about you running up on a pal after the play is over, acting like you want to fight. Actually, I don't even know if you can fight. You're always acting like you want to fight after the play is over. Actually, go ahead. At least I know a Draymond will swing. I don't know what you about. I don't care about you being tough after the play. Can you, at minimum, where's this dominant run game blocking at? This is why I think you're a bust. At minimum, you're supposed to be dominant man on man, block your guy, pal driver. I don't see that. I see that from them 3 guys in the middle, which we're going to get into. I don't see that from you. I see you whiff all the time. People are like, oh, he gets to use his left hand now versus his right. But I saw too many whiffs. And then you know what I saw after he whiffed? Lack of second effort. He would watch his guy get past him. And this is the Broderick Jones second move. You ready? He looking at the guy going past him. He don't go try to get him, or maybe the quarterback can scramble and you can pick him back up. Nope. This is the Broderick Jones move. Miss, look. Miss, look. This is why he's going to get A-Rod killed. A-Rod ain't got them wheels no more, people. He's going to be 42. Broderick Jones, the number one question. He will dictate this entire team's outlook. Broderick Jones is the number one question mark on this team. If he can just be decent. I ain't saying he got to be. Can you be competent? If it's one-on-one, brother, I need you to block. If they still need a tight end or a running back to chip your man, you're a bust. They Steelers moved up to get you. You don't get no help. I don't even let you get to that fourth year contract, let alone the 5th year option, which you ain't never going to see. You on the clock, buddy. Huey Richardson, Jermaine Stevens, Lyman Swede. He's that bad. I was at the game that Lyman Swede dropped that 51-yard touchdown in the left side of the end zone, and then he tried to act hurt because he knew his time was over. He knew his time was up. Hey, Broderick, your time is coming, brother. Can you get rid of these injuries you done got in the first 4 days where y'all ain't even hitting, and show us something? So if I'm to grade this tackle situation, you got a rookie that missed his whole first year starting his first game in a month. You got a left tackle who spent the first 2 years at right tackle, was out there the first year. Last year actually had lost the job, and only due to injury he got to even play, and he was suspect out there. Now he moves to left tackle. Preeminent position in the NFL. I don't think he has the talent. I don't think he has the skill. I don't think he has the footwork. I don't think he has the drive to be even competent. So when I grade these two, rookie coming back from injury, Broderick now at left tackle, D+ at best. Change my mind, Broderick, D+. Now, strength of the team, the inner workings, left guard, center, and right guard. So we got at left guard, Isaac Samala. He's injured right now, but he'll be back. Then you got Zach Frazier, and my favorite one on the line, Mason McCormick. If y'all don't know him, get down with him. He's a dog. Straight up bully. Who's in front of him? Ain't getting next to that quarterback. I'm telling you, the best lineman on the team, Mason McCormick. He's a road grader in the run game, and he locks you up in the pass game. So at right guard, I'm looking at potentially someone who could be in the Pro Bowl, Mason McCormick. Zach Frazier came in last year and took over. I like Zach. So you got these two maulers at center and at right guard. And then Isaac came in last year along with Spencer Anderson. I think we are really, really solid in the left and right guard situation and center. So if I was to give a grade for them right now, run game, pass game, continuity, I don't want to sound like a homer, but I'm gonna go A minus, B plus at worst. At worst. That inner line is really, really solid. I really want to lean toward A minus. Mason McCormick. He's a Pro Bowler in the making. If you don't know, learn him. And then going to kicker. I ain't got to spend any time on this. I think we have top 3. These kickers don't miss. Even the worst kicker in the league barely be missing now. But clutch from 60 yards in, I expect him to make them. Chris Boswell, A+++. Now, he has about 8 to 15 kickoffs every year where I don't know if he missed the bar or what he be thinking about. He only kicks off to like the 12-yard line. Other than that, Chris Boswell, A++++. No issues with Boswell going into the season. Now, let's flip to the defensive side. Did you know the Steelers had the highest paid defense in the league last year? Did you know that? Did you see the Steelers their last 5 games of the year, including that playoff loss? Did that look like the highest paid defense out there? I got questions. Now, we're going to break it down position by position. But seriously, Steelers, how long y'all going to keep leaning on Cameron Hayward to be all-pro? How long are we going to look at TJ Watt as this phenomenal all-world talent, generational talent, hit it to Canton, who will never play 16, 17 games in the season? Now, you got rid of Monday Night Minka, which I'm okay with, because you know why? He hadn't been Monday Night Minka in years. So I think they did good there. But there's some question marks about this highly paid will again be the highest paid defense in the league. So let's break it down position by position. So on the edges, you got the rookie, Derek Harmon. Rookie. Did you catch it? Rookie. Did you hear me? Rookie. Rookies have a hard time in this league. Derek Harmon is already listed as a starter at the left edge. And do you know who his backup is? Who I can't believe these guys are still on the team? Isaiah Loudermilk and DeMarvin Leal. Can either of those two play? And we are multiple years in with those two. Multiple. I think, respectively, 4th and 3rd year for each. So when you're looking at depth, this is why I've always enjoyed the Baltimore Ravens. I know they're our hated rival, and I cheer against them profusely, but I respect what they've done ever since Ozzie was in there as a GM. They gonna make sure they keep drafting dogs on the defensive line and the offensive line. I don't care about what else is going on. Clearly, receiver is always at the bottom of their to-do totem pole, but they're gonna have dogs. They're gonna have depth on that defensive line and offensive line. And I think in the Steelers model, we've struggled with that. Loudermilk and Leal are the 2nd and 3rd backups. I don't know. And you got a rookie coming in. So that's left edge. Right edge, solid. Cameron Hayward. This man somehow, I don't know what he took after year 7. Because Cam was good. He was actually he was good to really good the first 7 years. But these last 7 years, all pro. And then coming in the last year, I'm like, all right, Cam, just because of age, we're going to see some recession. We're going to see some recidivism. And we saw none of that. Do y'all watch Cam when he's able to get both his hands on the lineman and he just picks them up and carries them 7 yards into the quarterback's lap? And sometimes I've seen a running back try to help that defensive guard or tackle, and the running back will be on the guard or tackle's back, and Cam will have them both in the air, and he would place them both in the quarterback slot. So until I see some recession, I'm not gonna go against Cam. Cam looks to be everything. He actually should have a training video. So Cam ain't out there doing these bodybuilder workouts. But I swear to you, for my money, Cam has the most grown man strength in the NFL. Grown man strength. If it's one-on-one, I feel sorry for whoever has the ball. Because Cam is dismissing that guy. He is throwing that guy into the ball carrier. So A+. A+ if we just talking about the right edge with Cameron Hayward. But then when you look at the totality of the edge situation, so you're looking at Derek Harmon and a 36-year-old or soon to be 36-year-old Cameron Hayward with your top backups, Loudermilk and Liao. Only on the strength of Cameron Hayward, that position, C+. We don't know about this rookie. We don't know what he's going to do against these 27, 28, 29-year-olds who got that grown man strength and probably can block him with one arm because he ain't got his grown man strength yet. And then Loudermilk and Liao backing him up, C+ at best. And that's because the Cam Hayward grading of 98 overall, we was doing some Madden ratings, Cam probably gets a 90, 97, 98. That's the only reason that group gets a 90 or a C+. Now, here is the third question mark about the team. So we have Broderick Jones, number 1, Roman Wilson, number 2. What we going to do, because we keep trying to do that 3-man line, Keanu Benton. What y'all think? Yaha Black is the backup. I like Benton. But I think when they doing that 3-man line, I think he's more of an edge guy than a nose tackle guy. I don't think he got the weight. I don't think he got the strength. I think he's talented, but I don't think he got enough there. So I think we're going to continue. He's going to have a few dynamic plays, Benton that is, but I don't think for that scheme, Benton is it and Yaha Black. So if I'm going to grade that position right now, just based on actual production, C. So edges C+, nose tackle C. So our D-line right now is looking like a C. Now let's go to what I think is the strength of the team outside of that interior part of the offensive line. Let me list these linebackers. Weak side, TJ Watt. Need I say more? Mr. If you put me in there, I'm going to get a sack or get a fumble. Mr. Nick Herbig. That's a 99 over there. We are stacked at the left edge. I would like to see the defensive coordinator get a little more creative with Watt. I think it makes it easier for the opposing team's offensive coordinator to game plan. Hey, Mr. Watt, I need you to add something to that spin move, a build upon. I need you to go watch more Aaron Donald tapes. Last year, I saw you fall back a little bit with your hand technique. That's what made Aaron Donald so great. Aaron Donald was never the biggest dude out there, but might have been the strongest, but his hand and foot technique. Why? You've had it. I saw it. Maybe it was due to injury. Your hand game wasn't there, and you weren't able to get these guys off of you, so they was gripping you up. That spin move was looking real average at times last year. So I need your health to improve. I need you to be out there 16, 17 games. I need you to be dominant in December and January. I don't care about no 4-sack game in September. It's too hot. Them right tackles was overheated. That's why you got some of them easy sacks. I need you to show up in December and January and be big. So, but over there on that side, weak side, with Mr. Nick Herbig, which you got to find a way to get him out there with what? Dynamic player, explosive player. Then you look at strong side linebacker. Now, I had to walk it back a little bit with Highsmith. I was a little down on him coming in last year, has dealt with some injury, didn't always have the most explosive plays, but I felt last year he showed out, showed true, and we saw when he was injured, Alex Highsmith might be the strongest point of attack, hold the edge linebacker in the run game in the NFL. Did you catch that? Because they do run the ball in this league. He might be the best at point of attack, holding the edge, making that opposing team's running back turn it up. He's the best at it. Along with, he was better than competent in the pass game. I think he had 11 sacks. Don't quote me, but somewhere around 11 sacks. No, I think he had 9 sacks because he had some injuries. But I'm cool with Highsmith. What I like what they did was in this year's draft. If you don't know the name, you'll know it. Jack Sawyer. He's a man, y'all. And he's a man who thumps. Linebacker from Ohio State. He will be the Rookie of the Year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did you hear me? He will be the Rookie of the Year. Jack Sawyer will be an impact player on this defense. Hopefully that's not due to injuries to the starters, but I need Mr. Austin to figure out how to get Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig out on that field. Jack Sawyer will be the Steelers Rookie of the Year. Now, looking at inside, we may have lucked up. And I'm going to mention him first because he was the best player out there at inside linebacker. Peyton Wilson looks like we might have found something. Looks like a 3-down player with a high motor, high IQ, needing to gain a little bit of weight because sometimes they run these things called dive plays. And sometimes there's a 330-pound guard coming right at you, and you got to somehow either hold your ground or even shield the block and shed the block and make the tackle. And he's a little light in the booty for that. That would be my only critique, and hopefully he came back this year stronger in his legs. He looked like he had the shoulders last year, but brother, you got to get in that squat rack. You know what I mean? Do some things. Now, Patrick Queen. We all were excited about the pickup last summer. We were. But, you know, I think a little too much was put on him. We heard about him losing the helmet for the cause last year. And maybe he's a guy that just needs to roam free without that responsibility. But between Queen, Wilson, and Cole Holcomb, y'all remember him? When he got hurt year before last, he was playing top notch. So if he can get back to 75-80% of that as the backup with Queen and Wilson, I like what we got going on there. Don't forget about Mark Robinson and Malik Harrison. Def Robinson, when he gets in, he be trying to knock somebody out. He definitely, the people on the other team know his name. Even though he doesn't start, they know his name. So I'm going to give the linebacking, like the inside linebacking core right now, a B, a solid B. But I think there's potential for that to be an A. Now, when we look at the linebacker position as a whole, I think it can be an A group. So my grading for the linebacker position, A-. Now let's get into that secondary. This is, ooh. I mean, it's a lot of names, but okay, so let's read this off. Right now, I got Darius Slay at left corner, Deshaun Elliott, who had a great year last year, great signing. And they went ahead and locked him up. Deshaun Elliott at strong safety. Juan Thornhill at free safety. His previous team, if y'all don't know, Google Juan Thornhill's previous team. They're probably giggling at the fact that he is in the Steelers starting lineup. And then you got Joey Porter Jr. Minus the holes. Minus the PIs. He's a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, lockdown corner. Now we got to cut these penalties out, Joey, JP Jr. But if y'all go look at the analytics, and we're forced to look at the analytics because that's where the world of sports is now. As far as I got him, remember that back in the day, you lining up on defense and you said, I got him. JP Jr. does that. I got him. No help. No help. And he's the best at it analytically in the league. Just got to stop these PIs, JP Jr. But when you look at that, and, you know, we just added in Mr. Zesty from the Miami Dolphins with Jalen Ramsey. Is he the nickel? Does JP Jr. go inside? Jalen, at this point of his career, does he have the hips and change the direction to really be? Because everybody runs 3 wide now. Do you put Ramsey and Slay at the outside, and JP Jr. really is your inside auto slot guy now, putting him closer to the play, putting him right there with that 6-yard in and out that everybody runs, that the Steelers historically have tried to cover with a linebacker. Julian Edelman actually joked about this last year. He couldn't believe we were still doing this. We were the only team in the league still trying to put outside linebackers on slot guys. So finally, we got some pieces. My prediction, though, is that JP Jr. changes positions. He will be the inside slot guy, and he will lock down that slot. So then it comes down to Darius Slay, year 13, and Jalen Ramsey out there. Ramsey, I don't need you to be a hero. I need you to actually just play solid. No picks. No picks. I thought we were solid with Deshaun Elliott. The question will be Juan Thornhill at free safety. But if I was to give this group a grade based on potential, because there's a lot of new pieces, moving pieces, I'm going to say this group can be a B. Not a B plus, not a B minus, strong B. Nice 86, 87, which is not bad. So when I look at the breakdown of the team, what will make it go up or down? Because I think the grade of the team right now, you heard my breakdown, position grouping by position grouping, is about an 82, 83. I think that's a fair assessment, maybe 84 on a good team. So now you got to get into coaching, because coaching either makes you better or over time you get worse. Now I think at the head of the game, the head of the staff, Mike Tomlin, as a leader, a galvanizer of men, a leader of men. He knows how to motivate. He allows men to be men. That sometimes is to his detriment. But as far as players wanting to come here and people believe in him and positive things to say, I give Mike Tomlin, he's an A coach. He's an A coach. He's the head coach. I think where people get caught up and tripped up sometimes is when positional players or positions are not performing or regressing, they pointed at Tomlin. And I think we got to look at the position coaches. And I think this is a weakness of Mike Tomlin. He can't seem to get and keep good to great positional coaches. I think it's a great weakness of him. I think we have arguably the weakest position coaches in the league. Why don't our players get better? That's been a running question here for years. They don't get better. Every year there's 3 or 4 new head coaching positions in the league. Nobody seems to ever be coming for any of our assistant coaches. The last assistant coaches I think anybody wanted was Bruce Arians. And he cussed Mike out, left town, and actually went to the Super Bowl. We had a great one a few years ago, but him and Ben couldn't get along, but they was putting up, him and Gailey, was putting up 5,000-yard seasons in the passing game. What have we done since him? We in trouble, y'all, because these position coaches are a weakness for this team. And I think that's what's going to hold this team back, has held this team back, and will continue to hold this team back. Mike, you got to do better. Arthur Smith, when you had the opportunity to go out and find one of these young, explosive, young-minded offensive coordinators, what did you do? You interviewed one guy, Arthur Smith, and you hired him. Due diligence should have called for you to interview 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Listen to what's out there. Let's get explosive. All those people keying and laughing about Jalen Hurts early in his career. You know what Jalen Hurts is? A starting Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's an impactful player. You know why? They found offense that made him be highly efficient in the NFL. Steelers, what are we doing? We got to get better in that regard. So my question marks about the Steelers: number 1, Broderick Jones. Number 2, Roman Wilson. Number 3, inside linebacker. What's going to happen there? Number 4, will that secondary blend mesh come together? Number 5, the assistant coaches, the position coaches. With those being my top 5 questions, and I have zero faith in Broderick Jones and this coaching staff, the assistants have proven that I should have zero faith that they're going to improve the team. And with the roster talent and my regard being an 82 to 84, I see 10-7, 9-8, squeaking into the 7th spot again for the playoff positioning. Not really challenging Baltimore, obviously, or Cincinnati. Because even though Cincinnati's defense is atrocious, you can go ahead and put 30 points on the board for them most games. Cincinnati's flat out real clear about, we can outscore you. We just got to stop y'all once. Can y'all stop us once? That's their game plan. So I look at the Steelers finishing third, getting that last playoff spot in the conference. And then me and my bros will all be here cheering for them. And then we'll, probably get waxed by Kansas City or Buffalo on the road. So that's my take from the block. Let me hear your thoughts. I am nervous, y'all. It's really a boom or bust roster. I see the potential for bust. So we are out. We'll talk to you this Friday from Latrobe. They finally get to do some goal line and live hitting. All my co-hosts will be back, and we're going to get it how we get it. So that's Doc. I'm leaving the block. It's hot. I'm headed in for some water and AC. We'll see you from Latrobe on Friday.